How's it going, everybody? My name is Swoopy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you through the almighty VIPER mechanic that is the Swoop peek. This is one of the most important techniques that every single VIPER main should learn, so make sure you stick around for the entire video to make sure you learn every single detail about how to master this technique. And also, if you guys haven't already, make sure you head over to my Discord and my Twitch, and make sure you drop a follow and join my Discord server down below. Everything's in the description if you want to go join, and yeah, it'd be nice to see all of you there. So let's start off the video by going through what is the Swoop peek, where should you be doing Swoop peeks, and how do I do a Swoop peek. A Swoop peek is where you have a VIPER who is pushing up and goes inside of her smoke, and then decides to pick up her smoke, and then as it drops, she has a 250 millisecond advantage over any enemy that may be peeking. So you get an advantage and can see them before, so if you're quick on the trigger, you can get a free easy kill. Now this is something that's unique to VIPER and is with no other agent in the game, and especially with the new changes to VIPER in 2.06, meaning that you can now throw these smokes constantly, you can pretty much spam these peaks and get really good advantages with them. Alright, so then how? How do I Swoop peek? It is very simple. You want to put your smoke down whatever angle you want to Swoop peek, and then you want to go into it, and you can either press Q to drop your smoke, like so, or you can pick up your smoke to also drop it. It doesn't make any difference to the actual Swoop peek itself, so sometimes it's a bit easier rather than looking down at the floor, picking up and then getting your crosshair back up. Sometimes it is easier to just press Q and let the smoke go down, peek it, and then pick up the smoke after, and then you can move on with your life. But yeah, the Swoop peek is as simple as that. All you're doing is you're going inside of your smoke, you're going around, picking up your smoke, and then peeking off of it. You do that, you get a 250 millisecond advantage over any enemy that you will be peeking, so you see them before they see you, which is absolutely massive in the form of tactical shooters, or competitive shooters, I guess I could say. And then last of all, we're going to be talking about where. Where should I be doing these Swoop peeks? One thing is, a lot of time in combination with your other utility, whether that's your ult or your wall, you can use your smoke or your Swoop peeks with your walls to get some really cool angles, right? So you use your wall to get really close, and then you throw your smoke down to actually get through it, and then you can Swoop peek from a good angle on towards market. Then let's say once I'm here, I'm then going to be going up to smoke up here, on top mid, and then we can smoke that off. We can then clear up everything as we're then pushing through. And then we can go inside of our smoke and then Swoop peek this way. This is like a really quick and easy way of pushing up mid with VIPER. And it just shows how using your Swoop peeks, and because you use your smoke, and then once you get to your smoke and you pushed up to that space, you can then pick it up and then you're taking the next fight. And once again, with that 250 millisecond advantage. Okay, and now I want to get on to the most important part of this video. This is talking about positioning in your Swoop peek. So this is like the main way of people who aren't going to succeed with Swoop peeks, they'll be doing this wrong. And then people who are going to succeed with their Swoop peeks, they'll be doing this right. So make sure you listen carefully. Alright, once again, let's say I'm doing this mid push, and we throw our smoke down. What I want to do is make sure I'm positioning myself in the most safe way when I Swoop peek. So I come over to this corner. When I'm here, I'll probably pre-fire this corner. If they're not there, I'm then peeking, and I'm looking towards market straight away. So that I drop my smoke and I'm peeking towards market, and then I clear left, and now I have all this space, right? I've created. So what you don't want to be doing is then Swoop peeking over here in the open, because I'm exposed. I have to check this angle, this angle, this angle, here and here. So that is like instant death. And this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you have the advantage, but you have to use your Swoop peeks in a methodical and smart way. You can't really overextend with them, because you will be caught out in a position like this. You could then have two people peeking you and you're instantly dead. If we throw our smoke down, you can go this, if in your custom games, just throw your smokes around the map and places where you might want to Swoop peek, and throw them down, put them up, and see where the safe location is inside of your smoke. Once I'm here, see, I've already gotten past most of this angle, and I'm now over here. If I'm positioning myself over here when I go to Swoop peek, it's a much deeper angle, much less safe, and I'm exposed more to sight. You can go over this with every single location on the map to try and get a good idea about how you should be positioning, what angles you might be able to get spotted from when you Swoop peek certain areas, and it's that kind of information that will actually make you succeed much more with your Swoop peeks. Another really good way of figuring this out is literally just trial and error. If you just go into your games and do Swoop peeks, you'll figure out what positioning's bad and what goes wrong. So if you die off of the swoop peak, think, what did I do wrong? Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I could have positioned better. Rather than just getting, oh, this swoop peak is trash. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is using your utility with your swoop peak. So let's say we're going to use our snake bite. So if we throw a smoke down here at the start, which is a very, very good spot, somewhere like around here is a very good spot for your smoke, because it means if they're going to be pushing through a main, they get 50 decay, probably about 75 by the time they get through, and then they're a nice free kill for you once they've come out the other end. But either way, if we're then going to be using this to swoop peaks, so say that they're here, we're inside of our smoke, and we hear them getting orb, alright? What we can do is we can get our snake bite, and then we can press a Q, poison, and then swoop peak off of it. So that means you have an advantage of seeing them while doing double damage. So at that point, you don't have to aim for their heads at all, and you can just aim for the bodies, spray, and get free kills. And if you're using a gun like the Spectre, you can come out of it and literally just run shoot, and you can clean up like 3 people if you hit them all with your molly. Once again, another thing which I would just recommend, you go into a custom, test out how to get the right mollies for different locations, but you can do this on quite a few places, on quite a few maps. So it's a nice little thing to mix in to your games when you're on defense with VIPER. So once again, this is a nice little lurk wall and a nice little lurk setup when you are playing on B, or if you just want to lurk towards B and they don't have a Sage, you can sneak past Killjoy and you can sometimes get a few nice little kills with this. You can sneak through into market. But either way, one thing that's really good is using your swoop peaks in combination with other utility, like I was saying before with the push in middle. We're going to be doing the same thing, but we're lurking over here. So it means that when we come through and when we peek, we have an advantage on seeing the people in CT. Once again, we can make ourselves safe. We can even get to this corner and then peek when we feel like it. We can then clear the corners, push up. We can push with our wall to a safe location. And then we're peeking boathouse, and then we're up. And then we've got a flank on market. You know, it's just using your swoop peaks, you can actually just use it as almost mobility. You can sneak into locations where enemies don't expect. And if they do expect it, you peek them with an advantage. You peek them with that 250 millisecond advantage. Okay, and I just wanted to answer a few questions that I had on Discord about swoop peek. So the first one is I tried swoop peeking, and every time I try to pick up my orb, I'll mess up my crosshair placement. So it puts me in a bad spot, and then the advantage of the peek is gone. So this is a very, very valid point, and I think it's the main thing that throws people off of using it quite a lot and using it frequently. And the main way of actually just getting through this is practice. If you just go around and you can just throw down your orb, you go around, you pick it up, you know the kind of distance where it is to pick up to head. Like after doing this motion of looking down, picking up an orb, and then looking up, you begin. Okay, I did a really bad job at explaining this bit, so let me give it another shot. So what I was trying to explain is that if you keep on practicing how to do swoop peaks, what you can do is just build up muscle memory for that movement of looking at the floor to then aiming back at head level. You kind of get muscle memory in your hand of the actual mouse movement, and then over time you can just develop that and it becomes second nature, and you just don't even think about it. You can just peek every single time at head level and always get the kill. So yeah, my advice is literally just practice, 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 whether that's in custom or doing it in your games. It can be unrated, it could be your comp games, it could even be in tournaments, who cares? But make sure that you practice your swoop peaks and get them to a really good level, because this will make you such a good VIPER, because learning to swoop peak increases your kills so much with VIPER, so make sure you put time into learning it. The other question is another question which I think is also very, very valid, because I get away with a lot of the same pushes quite frequently. And one is because I mix it up quite a lot and I don't stay very predictable. I change my setups a lot of the time. And even if I am doing something else, a lot of the time I like to default walls as fakes and just throw people off. That is my whole idea of playing VIPER, is I just want to make the enemy have no clue what I'm doing, and that is how I win. So either way, this allows me to do plays quite a lot of the time. So I can push this, and the first question was, how do you not have people camp inside your smokes? One thing is that now we're on the new patch where if they sit inside your smoke, they instantly take 50 damage, and then they're just decaying longer and longer the more they're inside of it. Less people decide to push through the smokes now. Who would have guessed it, right? So yeah, quite a few less people decide to push through the smokes. However, if you do, one thing is you can literally, if you use by Phantom, you can just spray them as you're coming up, and then you can swoop peek, and then you'll be fine. And then the one other tip I will give is, rather than like when you're going into a swoop peek, if you're looking at the floor like this when you go for your swoop peek, and there's someone inside your smoke, you're dead. So The better thing to do is literally just walk into a smoke as if there's someone in there, clear it, and then pick it up, and then we're going again. And then we clear all the angles, and then we're up. Alright, let's talk about when you should be doing the swoop peek. A swoop peek is best when you can force a 1v1. If you're fighting against multiple people and you have to kill them both, you lose the advantage, right? Because it takes time to actually aim and shoot the person first person, and then you have to flick and try and hit the second one, and that's really, really hard to do with your swoop peek. So swoop peeks are best when you can force 1v1s on people. So one thing that's also really good is you want to be swoop peeking off of info. So when I know where somebody is, that's when I'm then going to drop my smoke, because then I'm pre-aiming, I'm ready, so the actual headshot and the shot initially is as easy as possible, or as easy as it could possibly be. So for example, let's say I'm pushing garage, double doors, and I'm over here, and I've got into my safe location, which is over here normally. Right, I'm exposed to the tunnel through here. So instead, we position in this corner. And now I hear them shooting at the door. As soon as I hear them shooting, I drop my smoke. And because I can see where the bullets are coming from, because they're shooting through the door, I'm just pre-aiming the window, and I can get a free kill. If anything as well, if there's a guy like holding over here who I've heard shoot, I just drop the smoke, and then I'm sneaking, and then I just swing and get a free kill. Alright, and then I'll give you one more example. Let's say if I'm pushing up through B. And I hear a guy shooting on this left side, spraying through. It means I'm going through, I'm peeking, and we're taking this 1v1. And I'm focused on this 1v1. I'm clearing by the corners, but I'm trying to take that 1v1 fight. That info that I'm getting, I'm trying to use my utility to try and seclude that guy into a 1v1 fight that I can take. And then using my swoop peeks, I'm trying to give myself the greatest chance possible to win that fight, create space in my team, and then either ult to like get bombed down, or then fall back, play post plant, do whatever. You know, normal Viper things after that. But it's about using your swoop peek as your way of not dry peeking. But that's it, guys. Hopefully, you now have a much, much better understanding about swoop peeking and how to utilize it in the best way. If this video really helped you out and helped you to get improved with your Viper gameplay, make sure you slap a like down below, and also be sure to subscribe to join the Swoop Squad, the best Viper army out there on YouTube. Alright guys, that's it from me. Remember, stay safe, stay toxic, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.